Welcome to this yoga practice. Let's begin in an easy seat, finding a comfortable seat. Become aware of your sit bones and the ground beneath you. And find a steady, smooth breath. Breathing in through your nose and breathing out fully through your nose as well. Paying attention to your exhales more than your inhales. Next inhale, can you lengthen your spine? Maybe take your shoulders up, back, and down. Elongating your neck and allowing the crown of your head to reach above to the ceiling or sky. Breathing in here. Breathing out. Taking a moment to acknowledge what it took for you to get here today. Noticing that you had a busy, full day, or maybe this is your first thing you're doing this morning. Maybe you were sleeping before this. Just acknowledging whatever it was that you were doing is now done. Letting that go. And acknowledging yourself here on your yoga mat. Transitioning to this time of self-care. This time of being attentive to your mind and your body. Breathing in through your nose and breathing out. Keeping a steady breath. It's 2024 now. Maybe you are looking forward to this new year and all that it has to offer. Maybe you set goals and you're excited about achieving them in the process of achieving them. Or perhaps you're still a little in shock that it's 2024 and maybe you're feeling overwhelmed by the idea of trying to set goals or having a word or an intention all figured out for the year. When we get still, we start to feel our feelings and our emotions. Our emotions that take up space in our bodies. If you think about how your muscles tense up when you are stressed, when you're worried, maybe you have a lack of energy. Or do you ever notice that when you are excited about something, you have an abundance of energy? You can't hardly sit still. You're so excited. And there's truth to that mind-body connection. Our bodies tell us when we are out of balance. So whatever it is that you're feeling today about the new year, or even just about today, those feelings are welcome here. We are making space for them today. No judgment. Inhaling through your nose and notice any areas in your body that are holding on to tension. Exhale fully. Can you soften those areas? Letting go of some of that tension. Breathing in. And breathing out. Breathing in and noticing how your belly expands and your ribs expand. Breathing out, feeling those ribs in your belly deflate. Maybe on your inhale, you elongate your inhale And you elongate your exhale for the same count. So if you like that equal, coherent breath, inhaling and exhaling. Or perhaps you try inhaling for a count, whatever that may be for you. And then on your exhale, can you exhale one extra number so that exhale is a little bit longer? Inhaling and exhaling on your own count, of course. Or perhaps you prefer inhaling and at the top of your breath, taking a pause for a split second before you exhale it all out, and pause at the bottom before you inhale again, pausing at the top, exhaling completely. Notice what rhythm of breathing helps you to feel calm. Knowing that this is a technique that you can keep in your toolbox. You don't have to wait for yoga to practice this mindful breathing. We're going to link our breath and our movement now, allowing our breath to lead our movement. So inhaling through your nose, we're going to raise our arms up overhead. Exhale, hands to heart center. Inhaling, arms up overhead. Exhaling, hands to heart center. Inhale, arms overhead one more time. Exhale, drop your right hand to the ground. Allow your left arm to come up and over, keeping your left hip anchored into the ground. Taking a full breath cycle here. Inhaling, feeling the breath increase your lung capacity and your rib cage opens. Exhale fully. Inhale back up to center. Exhale over to the left this time. Right arm comes up and over. Breathing in. Breathing out. Inhale back to center. Exhale over to the right. Notice that shoulder, that top shoulder. Is it trying to round down? Can you press it back just a little bit so your shoulders are stacked? Very nice. Inhale back up to center. Exhale over to the other side. Inhaling here. Exhaling fully. Inhaling back to center. One more on each side. Inhaling here. Exhale over to the right. Inhale back up. Exhale over to the left. Inhale back up. Hands to heart center. Exhaling. If you like to set an intention, this is a great time to do that. The practice today, I have chosen balance, if you didn't guess that already. We're going to do balance for our intention as a group. But if you would prefer to choose your own, you're more than welcome to. Here in this moment, we'll seal that intention by inhaling, arms up overhead. Exhaling, hands to heart center. We're going to come up over our knees now. So we come to tabletop and do some cat-cow, some spinal balance. Noticing as we come to tabletop that our knees are under our hips and that our shoulders are over our wrists. And if you have any wrist issues, just bring your hands, maybe one handprint towards the top of your mat, just to lessen that angle in your wrist. Just kind of alleviate some of that pressure. Spreading those fingertips wide with our index fingers pointing to the edge of our mat. Breathing in here, breathing out. Very nice. Next inhale, our chin's going to come up, belly's going to come down, tailbone's going to come up. Exhale, tailbone comes down, back arches and rounds like a cat, chin comes down, head comes down. Inhale, chin comes up, belly drops, tailbone comes up. We're going to keep doing this on our own breath. Exhale, tail down, round the back, chin down. 2 more times on your own and meet me in table. No rush to get there. Now in table, we're going to continue our spinal balance, noticing our spine. We're going to do bird dog. So we'll start with lengthening our left leg behind us, toes on the ground. Noticing how this feels. Breathing in here and engaging our core. Exhale, we're going to lift that back leg. Noticing our hips, making sure one is not higher than the other. Continuing to breathe. We never hold our breath. Always the pose, never our breath. Noticing how this feels as far as balance goes. Finding a balance between effort and ease. We're going to reach forward if you'd like a little more challenge to your balance with our right hand, fingertips tenting on the ground in front of us. And if you feel like this is plenty, then stay here. If you'd like to continue challenging your balance, you're more than welcome to lift that right arm up so that between our fingertips and the heel of our foot, we have a nice long line of energy reaching for opposite sides of the room. Breathing deeply. Exhale, bring it all down back to table and shake your hips side to side, nice and easy. As we strive for balance between effort and ease on our mat, may it remind us to strive for balance in our lives off of our mat. We're going to do this on the other side. So, lengthening that right leg behind us, toes on the ground here. Pressing into the ground with our hands. Noticing our shoulders spread nice. Checking our balance here. If we'd like to go deeper, inhaling through our nose, engaging our core. Exhale, lift the right leg back behind us. Heel is reaching for the wall behind you. And you have your hand options. If you would like to continue challenging your balance, you can tent your left hand, your fingertips in front of you at the top, towards the top of your mat. Breathing in and out. And if you'd like to continue challenge, raise that left arm up so your fingertips are reaching for the opposite side of the room than your heel of your right foot. Nice long line of energy there. Breathing in and breathing out, coming back to table, shaking hips side to side a little bit, integrating that. Very nice. From here, we're going to curl both toes underneath, and then we're going to press into our hands. So inhale here, pressing into our hands and our toes. And on our exhale, we're going to just lift up off the ground just enough to a couple inches to engage our core and to just kind of work that core, concentrating in that area just for a little bit. Noticing a full inhale and exhale here before coming back down to the ground. Taking an inhale here, engaging our core again and lifting back up. Full breath cycle. And then coming back down to the ground. Breathing in again. One more time. Lifting up. Very nice. Full breath cycle. And coming back down to table. Very nice. We're going to lift our hips up and walk our feet forward so that we can come to the top of our mat in a forward fold, if you will, kind of coming to mountain pose. So make your way there, stopping along the way if there's a spot that feels good and you need to stretch a little bit. We're going to do some sun salutation. So if you've never done sun salutation before, no worries. I'm going to break it down a little bit. We'll work through each pose just a little bit, kind of warm up muscles and prepare ourselves for the flow. And then we will flow through this a few times before moving on to our next sequence. So in mountain pose, notice your feet. Notice your foundation, your triangle foundation, the two balls of your feet, the inner and outer ball of each foot, anchored in the ground, and the heel, the middle of your heel, creating that triangle on each foot. Nicely rooted in. Noticing our knees, that they're not locked. Noticing our hips, that they are even. Noticing our tailbone pointed down just a little bit. Nothing is ever forced, so do not do that. Noticing a nice long spine. Maybe bringing your shoulders up, back, and down so that you notice more space between your shoulders and your ears. Crown of your head reaches for the ceiling above. Breathing in and breathing out. Noticing how this feels in your body. Next, inhale, arms up overhead, hands to touch. Exhale, hands to heart center. Inhale one more time, arms up overhead. Exhale, swan dive down to forward fold. We're going to sweep our fingertips towards the ground. Maybe you use a shoebox or blocks underneath your hands to bring the floor closer to you, or maybe your flexibility allows for your fingertips or your hands to touch. You don't want to be straining anything though, and that is not the goal. There's no prize for touching the floor. So find what your body is asking you to do. Pay attention, tune into that, and follow your body's leads. Your body, your yoga. Inhaling here, maybe working into one knee and the other, bending to kind of get those hamstrings and hips stretched out a little bit. Working through this forward fold. Next inhale, we're going to halfway lift. So we'll lengthen our spine, putting our hands on our shins or on our thighs. Head will be reaching for one side of the room, and the tailbone will be reaching for the opposite. So there's a nice long line of energy there. Shoulders and ears are nicely spread apart. Breathing in here. Exhale, come back to forward fold. We'll do this a couple times. Inhale, halfway lift. Nice long spine. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, halfway lift. And this time, exhale, hands down to the ground. So bending your knees generously. Plant your hands and then step back to plank. Here in plank, I'm going to breathe in fully at the top. Exhale, knees are going to come down to the ground, and we're going to do some yogi push-ups. So our elbows are not going to splay out from side to side. We're going to keep our elbows tucked in toward our body, so they're alongside our body. Notice your hands, spread those fingers nice and wide. We're going to be pressing into our index and thumbs, especially not dumping into our wrists. Inhaling here at plank, exhaling halfway down. Inhaling back up. Exhaling halfway down. Inhale, back up. Exhale, belly to the ground, all the way down. Very nice. Take a full breath cycle here. Exhale fully. Next, inhale. Notice your feet. Press into your feet and your hips and lift your chest and head off the ground, baby cobra. Exhale, come back down, forehead to the ground. Inhale again, coming back up. No pressure in your hands. It's all the work of your back muscles. Exhale, back down. Inhale, pressing into our feet and our hips. Up for baby cobra, down on our exhale, down to the ground. Very nice. Pressing down into our hands again now. We're going to come back, lifting our hips up and back to downward facing dog, pedaling out our feet in down dog. You can keep your knees as bent as needed. The goal is not to bring our heels down to the ground. We want to look like an upside down V, but if we need to bend our knees, that's okay, because we want a nice long spine. And we don't want our spine rounded. So our biceps will be up by our ears. So bringing your head down, your gaze will be, they say at your navel, but I have never seen my navel. But maybe the wall behind you, or your knees or your thighs. Just kind of keeping your head down, basically. Pressing into the index finger and your thumb especially. All your fingers, less weight in your wrists. If you're still pedaling out your feet, maybe you come to stillness. Breathing in here, tailbone reaches for the sky, breathing out. Very nice. Looking up at your hands now, taking a breath in. Exhale, walk those feet up to meet your hands in a forward fold. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, bend the knees generously, roll up to mountain, nice and easy. Arms up overhead. Exhale, hands to heart center, and just take a couple of breaths here. The new year can feel exciting and refreshing, but sometimes the pressure to start something new may be overwhelming. So maybe we let go of those shoulds, the rules that say you have to have it all figured out. That the new year means new opportunity and new growth and all that. But maybe you weren't ready for it this year, and that's fine too. Maybe you are, and that's wonderful. But if you're not, don't look down on yourself. Every day you have a new opportunity. You don't have to wait till 2024, 25. You can start fresh every month, every week, every day, every hour. You have new opportunities all the time. So we're going to let go of the shoulds. And we're going to follow our bodies. We're going to find balance between our effort and ease, making time for ourselves as we need. Taking one more breath here, arms up overhead. Exhale, let's come back down to forward fold. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, forward fold. Plant your hands and step back to plank. Inhaling here at the top of your plank, lowering down to your belly. Inhale to baby cobra. Exhale, bring those hips back and up to downward facing dog. Pedaling out your dog here if you need to, or coming to stillness for a couple breath cycles on your own. Next, inhale, looking at your hands. Exhale, walking your feet to meet your hands. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, root to rise, bend those knees, rising up to mountain, arms up overhead. Exhale, hands to heart center. We're going to do this A couple more times here. Inhale, arms up overhead. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, halfway lift. Nice long neck. Exhale, forward fold. Plant those hands, come back to plank. Inhale at the top of your plank and exhale all the way down to the ground. Inhale, baby cobra. Exhale, pressing back to downward facing dog. Taking a breath. Next, inhale, looking at your hands. Exhale, walking those feet up to forward fold. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, fold. Inhale, coming up to mountain, rolling up nice and easy. Hands to touch. Exhale, hands to heart center. We'll do this one more time. Inhale, arms up overhead. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, halfway lift, long spine. Exhale, let it go, forward fold. Plant those hands in the ground. Step back to plank. Inhale, fully here. Exhale, lowering down to the ground. Inhale for baby cobra. And exhale, downward facing dog. Full breath cycle. And come down to child's pose. Just take about 6 breaths here. Letting go of things that no longer serve you. Finding balance on and off your mat between effort and ease. Allowing your body to be the boss. Next, inhale, come back up to table and gently make your way up to mountain at the top of your mat. When you get up to mountain, notice your feet. Find your foundation. Align your spine. Inhale, arms up overhead. Exhale, hands to heart center. Very nice. We're going to start this next sequence. So once again, starting in mountain, arms up overhead on your inhale. Exhale will come down to chair. Not down, but partial. Bending those knees. Noticing your toes, your knees, and your hips facing all the same direction. Inhaling here, arms are either up overhead, biceps by your ears, hands to heart center, or hands on your hips, your choice. Inhaling here, twisting over to the right. Noticing your hips did one move. Bringing those hips back in line with your knees and your feet. Very nice. Inhale, come back to chair, standing up in your mountain. Inhaling here, exhaling, coming back down to chair, twisting to the other side. Very nice. Noticing those hips. Very good. Inhaling back to mountain. Right leg is going to come back to warrior 2. So your back foot will be parallel with the back edge of your mat. Your front foot, your toes will be pointing towards the top of your mat. Your front knee will be bent and tracking over your feet. Back leg will be straight-ish. We don't want to lock anything. Notice your hips here. Does one want to pop up? Are they even? We want them that front hip to be open. And we'll turn our shoulders to match the side edge of our mat. Arms will be teed, one in front, one behind. Looking over your front fingertips, breathing in deeply here with a long spine. Exhaling, fully bending into that knee, maybe a little more. Very nice. Strong arms, strong spine. Feet are spreading from the top of our mat to the bottom, and our inner thighs are engaged like magnets trying to reach one another. So we're moving what feels like in opposition in some ways, but engaging those legs basically is what we're doing. In your next inhale, we're going to reverse a triangle. So we're going to straighten that front leg, and that front arm is going to reach up, and our back arm is going to rest on our back leg, looking up, reaching up, feeling the breath in our lungs, expanding our ribs. Very nice. One more breath. Exhale to warrior two again. Very nice. Now we're going to take those front toes that are pointed towards the top of our mat, and we're going to pivot them so that they are now facing the side edge of our mat as well. So our feet, our knees, our hips, our shoulders are all facing the side edge of our mat. Hands will be on our hips, nice long spine. Inhaling to grow tall. Exhale, flat back coming down halfway to a wide-legged forward fold. This would be a great time to use blocks if you need the floor closer to you again. Shoe boxes work as well if you're at home. Just noticing how this feels in your back body. Maybe you bend into one knee and then the other. Breathing in and breathing out. Coming to stillness. And maybe allowing your spine to just let go, and your head to let go. Nod your head yes. Shake your head no. Breathing in, breathing out. Bend your knees slightly, and then walk your hands towards the top of your mat. Allow your feet to kind of pivot and come to, so that you're all fours are facing the top of your mat. Bring that back foot up to meet your front foot. Find yourself in a forward fold, breathing in deeply, breathing out. Bending into those knees. Next inhale brings you back up to mountain. And exhale, hands to heart center. Taking a moment here. Knowing that one side is often different from the other side, can you approach this other side with curiosity and grace? And off our mats, can you also approach this new year, this new month, this new week, this new day with curiosity and grace for yourself and others as well? Inhale, arms up overhead. Exhale, sitting back into your chair. Inhale, opening those arms to a T in a twist to the right. Noticing your hips, very nice. Exhale, coming back to center. Inhale, opening to the left. Exhale, coming back to center. This time, left leg's going to come back for our warrior two. So our back foot is parallel with the back edge of our mat. Front toes are pointing towards the top. Front knee is bent. Knee is tracking over your feet. Your right hip is open this time. Left leg is long behind you, not locked in your knee though. Your shoulders are facing the long edge of your mat. Your arms are at a T, nice and strong. Fingertips reaching for the front and back ends of not your mat, but the room. So opposite sides of the room. Looking over those front fingertips and smile. Next, inhale, straighten that front leg, reach that front arm up as you come to a reverse triangle. Back arm is just resting on your back leg. Breathing in, breathing out. Very nice. Coming back to warrior two on this side. And then bring that front foot, pivot it over to the long edge of your mat so that your feet, your knees, your hips, your shoulders are all facing the long edge of your mat, this side. Hands on your hips, nice long spine as you inhale. Exhale, hinging at those hips as you come down towards the ground. Maybe using your blocks. Maybe you bend into one knee and the other. Finding those sweet spots, exploring where this body needs stretching in this pose. Letting go, if you haven't already, of your spine and your head, shaking your head yes and no. Breathing in and breathing out. Walking those hands to the top of your mat and allowing your feet to follow. Bring that back left foot up to meet the right one. Bending those knees generously in forward fold. Inhale, bend those knees and rise to mountain. Arms overhead. Exhale, hands to heart center. Very nice. Between stimulus and response, there is a space. And in that space is our power to choose our response. In our response lies our growth and freedom. That's by Viktor Frankl. I really like that. Between stimulus and response, there is a space. In that space is our power to choose our response. In our response lies our growth and freedom. Okay, inhale here, arms up overhead. Exhale. Maybe open your feet, your stance from so that both your feet are basically at the side edge of your mat, and you can come down to a yogi squat if that's in your practice. If you like to squat, gently bring your bum down towards the ground, bending deeply into your knees. Maybe your elbows come inside your knees to encourage your knees to open and allow your hips to release. And if this is not comfortable, feel free to have a seat on your mat. We're headed that way anyway. And if you're in yogi squat, take one last breath in. And exhale, coming down and meeting us on our mat. We're going to bring our left leg long in front of us. Toes and knee will be facing the ceiling. Our right leg is going to bend, and the sole of our foot will come alongside the inner thigh or inner calf. Find that sweet spot for yourself today. Where is that sweet spot for you in this pose on this side? Breathing in with a nice long spine, we're going to come to this head to knee pose. I don't usually get my head to my knee, not even on a good day, but we're going to try to at least head towards there. So exhale, we're going to walk our hands forward until we start to feel sensation. Breathing in and breathing out, letting go, softening those muscles, allowing our nervous system to catch up and know we are not in any danger. Don't want to injure ourselves. And if you want to continue to bending and stretching more on your exhales, you're more than welcome to. Just breathe. Next inhale, start to walk your hands back towards your body so your shoulders come up over your hips. Switch your legs so your right leg is now extended, knee and toes are pointing to the ceiling. Left sole of the foot is either on the inside of the calf or of the thigh somewhere, maybe even the knee. We're not doing any weight bearing, so that's fine. It can be on the knee as opposed to tree pose where we try to avoid the knee. Coming to sitting in a tall spot. So a nice long spine, sit bones in the ground, breathing in here, exhaling, hinging forward from the hips until we feel sensation. Taking a full breath cycle and releasing and softening those muscles on our exhale. Coming down any more that your body's asking for, gently, carefully. Inhaling, pressing into the ground beneath you and walking your hands gently back to your body so your shoulders come over your hips. Very nice. Bring the soles of your feet together for cobbler pose or Baddha Konasana. And again, finding that sweet spot for you. So maybe your feet are further away from your body. Maybe your feet are closer to your body. Doesn't really matter. You don't get brownie points for either direction. It's just whatever your boss is telling you to do today. So find that sweet spot. Breathing in, nice long spine. Exhale, hinging forward. Finding that spot of sensation. Taking a breath in and then releasing your muscles on the exhale. And then going any further if you would like to. What if maybe this year you took a different approach than in years past? What would that look like for you to make your body, your life, maybe finding that spot, I guess, for rest and work, finding that effort and ease balance. How is that going to look in your body this year? Bringing your hands back to the ground, pressing yourself up, shoulders over hips. We're going to come to recline for bridge pose. So coming down onto your back, bring your soles of the feet onto the ground so your knees are bent, bringing those heels as close to your bum as you can. Bringing your arms alongside you with your hands palm down. In just a moment, we're going to press into our heels and our hands. So breathe in here. And exhale, pressing into heels and hands, lifting hips off the ground. Peel your spine basically off the ground, allowing those hips to lead. Noticing between your shoulders, the collarbones open up. And notice also if in your in your throat you're feeling a little constricted, maybe lift the chin just a smidge. Noticing how that feels. If it doesn't feel good, come on back down nice and gentle. Otherwise, take one more breath here. And then slowly and gently roll down one vertebra at a time, bringing each vertebra down back to the earth. Take a full breath here. Next Exhale, pressing into our hands and feet one more time, rolling those hips up, up, up. Noticing your shoulders and collarbones open. Chin comes up a smidge if it isn't already. And then rolling back down. Full breath cycle. What would this look like for you this year? Inhale, hands and feet, one last time. Pressing in, opening those hips and hip flexors. This is a great stretch for those who sit too much as well. Breathing in and breathing out, nice and gentle, one vertebra at a time, coming back down to the earth. And once your sacrum is down to the ground, taking those knees and pulling them into your chest, maybe rocking side to side a little bit, finding that sweet spot if that feels good. If it doesn't feel good, just hold on to your knees maybe. Giving your back a little bit of love. And then letting go of your knees, but keeping your legs at like a 90 degree. We're going to tee our arms out to each side, taking a breath here. Exhale, we're going to bring our knees over to the left side. Our gaze is going to gently go to the right side. Both shoulders should stay on the ground. And if that means your knees don't touch the ground, you can always take a block or a pillow and prop underneath that bottom leg. Because if you're just kind of hanging in the balance, that's not really a restful, restorative type of pose. And that's kind of where we're going for as far as this pose goes. So find your twist in this position and just let go. Giving gratitude for new beginnings, whatever they may look like. Giving gratitude for balance in our lives. Next, inhale, bring your head back center. Next, exhale, bring your knees up over your hips again, and maybe give yourself another hug if that feels good. Rocking side to side if that feels good. We'll get set up on the other side. So if you used a block or a pillow underneath your knees on the left side, let's swing that around to the right. And then let go of your knees, allowing your legs to come to that 90-degree bend. Tee your arms from side to side, taking a breath in here. And exhaling, knees come over to the right side this time. Again, our shoulders should be toward on the ground. Maybe our gaze goes over our left shoulder this time. Breathing in and out. gratitude that you get to choose what and if and how and when you're going to pursue whatever you're going to pursue this year, if you're going to pursue anything. Next inhale brings your head back center. Next exhale brings your knees back over your hips, and give yourself one more hug. Or maybe if happy baby is in your practice, you grab your feet, hold on to your feet and bring your knees, bending those knees in toward your armpits, as they call it happy baby, because, well, this is kind of like what babies do, right? They grab their feet and their knees are bent and they're opening their hips, and usually a smile. And finding a comfortable place for yourself to do Shavasana. Maybe you prefer to do Shavasana with legs up the wall. That's an option. Maybe you want to lie flat on the ground. That's just fine too. Maybe you want something under your head. That's fine. I personally like to put a pillow or a bolster under my calves to elevate that lower part of my legs and feet off the ground. Regardless, just find your sweet Shavasana spot and get comfortable. Give you a second to do that. We're gonna, before we enter into a quiet, about a 5-minute Shavasana, we're going to do a quick body scan. I shouldn't say quick. It makes it seem like we're going to go through it fast. We're going to do a body scan. So, inhale with me if you would, please. Feeling the breath in your back body and all the places that your body is touching the ground or the bolster or the wall. Notice those spaces and places where you're connecting. Noticing and becoming aware of the top of your head. Imagining a cup of calm is being poured over the top of your head. And with each exhale, can you let go just a little bit more? This cup of calm is pouring down. Imagine it easing any tension in your eyebrows and forehead, in your jawline, in the back of your head, your neck, your shoulders. Inhaling and noticing your right shoulder, elbow, and hand fully relaxed as your fingers just relax, open. Noticing the hollow at your neck. Noticing your left shoulder, elbow, wrist and hand, and fingers. Noticing heart center. As you inhale, notice the ribs and notice the feedback from the ground beneath you. As you inhale and your ribs expand, exhale and your ribs deflate, allowing the tension in your back to just melt away. Tension in your hips and hip flexors, in your thighs, knees, calves and shins. Any leftover inkling of tension in your ankles, feet, or toes. Letting it all go and enjoying about a 3-minute Shavasana. Take a deep inhale here and a deep exhale, slow and long. Begin to move your fingertips and your toes. Maybe touch each finger to a thumb alternately. Maybe move those ankles around in circles in one direction and the next opposite direction. Move your wrists in circles as well in one direction and then the other direction. Smile. Inhale with your arms up overhead like a good morning stretch, lengthening those legs. And on your exhale, coming to turn onto your side in a fetal position, using your bottom arm as a pillow. Taking a moment for gratitude for this body, this amazing body that has sustained you not only through the day and through this practice, but every day since you've been alive. thank yourself for showing up tonight, today, this morning, whatever time you're watching this video. I hope that it's blessed you. When you're ready, take that top arm, press into that hand, into the ground, and make your way to an easy seat. No rush. Breathing in here, arms come up overhead. Exhale, hands to heart center. Do that one more time. Inhale, arms up overhead. Exhale, hands to heart center. My hope and prayer for you this year is that you'll find balance, knowing that you are enough, you're capable, you matter just as you are, but that you cannot pour from an empty cup. So finding that balance between effort and ease this year is my hope for you. Thank you for practicing with me, and I hope you have a wonderful rest of your day. Namaste.